Okay, guys, this is part two and this final part of our getting started training. It's pretty simple, right? So, in the first part, of course, we really focused on the things you got to do to get started. And then I talked about what you got to do to launch your business and then the consistent action. I've been talking to you about, let me move this over a little bit. I've been talking to you about consistent action of talking to 2 people a day, 60 a month. 30 people are going to be interested. You're going to be showing the presentation, you or somebody else, to 10 of them, and you should be able to enroll 2 people a month. And that's pretty substantial recruiting. If you double that, if everyone did that, you'd have over 8,000 people in your group in a year. Just do the math, okay? So let's talk about the process now, okay? Because we know we got to talk to 2 people a day if we want to build a business properly. Again, you do your own thing, but at least 2. If you do one, you do one, but it's up to you. Now, what do we have to do with these people? First thing is piquing interest, okay? How do you pique interest? You can either do a product approach where you lead with a product. You could tag them on that Facebook 100% Epic. We told you how crazy that's been for helping people build a business. So some people get interested in this whole play based on the product first, or you lead with the business, okay? So if you're going to talk about the business to people, and I'm using this as a warm market, or it could be someone you just barely meet. Always small talk. I mean, even if you're at the gas station, you don't just walk up to someone and say, "You want to make money?" No, hey guys, what a great day! Lovely day out today. Or gas prices are up again. Whatever you want to talk about. But the point is, a little small talk, and then there are many approaches you can use. I like to keep it simple. So, hey, are you someone who keeps your options open when it comes to looking at other ways to make money, earn additional income? Whatever you want to, spin a little bit. The point is, isn't that right to the point? Hey, do you ever look at other ways to make money? How about that? You ever look at other ways to make money? Yeah, depends what it is. See, most people are going to say, yeah, depends what it is, right? Or of course I do. See, that's all you're trying to do is get a positive response out of them, okay? Now, from there, you try to set up an initial exposure. Okay, now we're here. Initial exposure could be a 5 to 10 minute call. You just say, "Look, Jimmy, I don't have time now," right? Or if you talk to your buddy at work or something, "Look, I don't want to talk about this at work, but when can I do a quick little 5, 10 minute call with you?" And of course, if you're uncomfortable, you have someone else do it for you. All right. Just don't tell them that, because then they get a little wiggy about a 3-way call. Just say, when you have 10 minutes free, and then when you call, just say, "I got my friend Jimmy on the line. He's been doing this longer than me. And Jim, tell him what this is about." And we just basically, I'm not going to go into the whole what it is, but the overview is you just kind of asking them questions of where they're at. A little bit like, "Hey, what are you doing for a side gig?" You find out about them, and then you tell them just a little bit, not the whole plan or nothing, but basically we're looking for people who want to build a secondary source of income. Your whole goal is to what? Book them into a full presentation. But I don't like to just say, "Hey, get on a presentation, at Zoom at 8 o'clock," because then they're like, what's this all about? I like to massage the mind a little bit, okay? So I don't show the whole plan until I've done this little relationship building, discuss why. I never just say, "Hey, what are you doing Tuesday? Just jump on this webinar at 8. They don't even know what the hell they're getting on to. So, and sometimes it can, be a negative. So I always like to have I call a little meeting of the minds, if you will, okay? Or you could have them browse the Epic Facebook group first, get a little feel for the product, or try the product. That's, of course, if it's a product exposure, if you will. Okay. Now, what do we try to do? We got to get them to see the presentation. Now, there's a few ways we can do it. We have these live Zoom calls that you get the schedule, right? Live presentation, meaning the old days, we were at hotels and all, pre-COVID, we actually got together at people's homes. I like in homes. Sometimes logistically they're hard to pull off, but you get a little more of a warm and fuzzy when you're actually with the people. You could send them to the website, incomegenerators.biz. Make sure they click on the Be Epic. and watch the video. If they watch the video on their own, see, anytime if they're on a live video with you, you're with them, right? But if they're watching something on their own, you've got to ask them, when are they going to look at it? Never say like, oh yeah, when you get a chance. Chance, what does that mean? Say, Jim, like there's a 2-section video up there. One's 14 minutes, one's 20 minutes. I want you to see the presentation. When can you watch it? Well, I should be able to watch it tonight after work. Okay, great. Do that. I'm going to call you. Now, it can be right after if you want to wait a day, but you don't wait more than 24 hours to follow up. Why? Because you got to, first of all, you're showing them $100,000 a year business plus. You don't want to make it sound like, oh, yeah, I'll get back to you in a couple of days. Priority, right? So, a sense of urgency. So you want to do that with them. And again, you're not bugging them. You just be honest and authentic. I always talk about being your authentic self. Look, Jim, you're going to look at some information. Well, it's fresh on your mind, right? Before you forget it, I want to go over it with you and touch base with you on it, okay? Not being pushy. It's just being a business person. So that's the presentation. Now, you can do one-on-ones. You can go through the slideshow on the computer if you're good at it, however you want to do it. Really, this should be up to you. You can watch the plan with them, or you can have it watch them on their own. And then the last thing, you're going to follow up to their decision. Now, this is the key. The follow up. They say the fortune's in the follow up. You might have to answer their questions. They might want to try a product. They might want to see it again. They might want to talk to someone who's making money. But the point is, after they see the plan, you got to go into action and say, okay, where do we stand? It's not a big decision. Let's get started. But if they resist, okay, what do you need to know? What's the next step then? What's your comfort level? Well, I'd like to see it again. I'd like to get my sister on to evaluate it. That's fine. We're going to evaluate with people anyways. So you just work with them. The main thing is every time you do a follow-up, you do another, the next step, the next step, the next step. You never go, you should always know who you are with each person. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I got to call Jim. I haven't talked to him in 2 weeks. There's always a next step. Okay, guys? So once they make their decision, customer, not interested, or hopefully brand partner, we get them started. Now, once they enroll, remember we showed you the enrollment process. Now, what do? You all it is, guys, is whatever we just went over with you, we're going over with you in the Getting Started guide. The same way we taught you what you're going to do with them in the beginning. Remember the first training? You just plug them into the system and do the exact same thing, okay? Now, what you should do is, again, some system of your reps. It might not even be your rep. It could be one of your personally sponsored brings in a real go-getter. You don't want to leave it up to the new person to mentor them. So if you really want to build your team, you call that person. I always had a little tracking list. And once there's the prospect list I showed you, right? And then there's once they're in, they should be on or you can go to your back office and see them all the people in your tree. But you should have a little game plan of like, I'm going to call my top 10 people a week, a couple people a day, and just find out where their head's at, what the next step is. And of course, if you're there, people, you're going over this checklist I'm going to show you in a second, and you just follow it through, and there should be no problem. By the way, this is just notes. I just want to make sure I cover the binary commissions close out at Tuesday at midnight. And if you stop ordering for any reason, and some people do, they have too much product, the money gets tight, I don't know how, $25 auto ship, you can always reduce it. But the point is, if you go more than 3 months without buying anything, that's when you drop your position, okay? You don't want to do that. Guys, now let's close out with this. Well, that wasn't long, right? We covered this training in no time. I just put together, if it's here, everything I just went over with you in those 3 or 4 pages we just covered. I just said, look, let's put this in a checklist form, because instead I have to read the whole guide. All right, let's look at the key things we're doing, and let's put them. Let's put my glasses on if I can't read it, and then, or maybe I can. And let's put it in a checklist form. Okay, so here's what I did with this checklist. See if it makes sense. Column maybe 10 people to the right here. starting with you. So I put this little, I just drew, not horizontal, vertical lines down. I got about 9 people, 10 people in. I started with me. Make sure I do all these things. And then my first person, my second, my third, my fourth. Now when I call them up, I don't have to start reading through pages or just guessing. Hey, Jim, did you do your kickoff? No, did you got your this? This is the game plan. So this is your game plan in a nutshell. This is their game plan in a nutshell. So let me just make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, after enrollment, remember you do this at the time of enrollment. Are they enrolled on at least one product? Great, but what do we really want to get them to so they're on the lifestyle bonus? That's 70 BV products. So just imagine we got this column, you got their name here, and we're doing check, 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 okay? Username and password, do they save it? Again, these are simple stuff, but it's things that I don't want them to fall. So this is your little checklist with your people. Guys, this is a business. These are your people. You want to motivate them? You want to make sure they're on their game? Or you just want to go, oh, I brought Jimmy in. Go have fun, Jim. Go build a business. You got to be the one, because some people are real meticulous about check, 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 and other people, they're just aloof. So your job is, if they have potential, is work with them. Now, after a while, if they're not doing anything, I take them off the list. I'm not, look, go buy the product every month. I love you. If you're ready to work, we'll go to work. But every time you bring someone new, and you got to assume that they're hot, they're ready to roll, and you want to make sure you help them through all these basic steps, okay? Do they understand that binary placement, left and right? Remember, you do this, I kind of put these in the order in which we covered it in the Getting Started guide. Did they get their Getting Started guide and video? Did they go through what we're doing right now, basically? Did you do that follow-up? Remember, after they watch the video, you as the enroller are supposed to do that little launch meeting where you make sure they're going to get their game plan together, they're going to book their 2 launches, if you will. So you do the little launch meeting with them. I did a little page break, because that's everything that you pretty much cover with them in their first enrollment process. Now, what's next? Let's go through it. It's not there's only a few more things. Remember the basic education? Maybe I'm doing this with Michelle. Michelle, listen, did you finish your basic education? Did you watch the little video on the comp plan, a little back office? Do you understand your back office? Yeah, okay, great, check. Did you join the 2 Facebook groups? Yep, check. Are you going through them once in a while? Oh yeah, absolutely, I love them, great. Did you do your little why? Remember the little why you're doing the business? Did you do your names list, 50 plus people, or whatever I said, 10 plus people? Did you do those 2? Remember, we're launching your business. You're going to do 2 webinars that you're taking responsibility to get your top 10 on. See how easy this is, guys? Everything I talked about in that first video plus is now right here in a checklist form, okay? Your first 10 people, did you show the plan to? Yeah, you probably get your 2 enrolled from there. Did you ATM, remember the 50 people we talked about? 5 a day, check, got it. Did you enroll your 2 people? Guys, if you did this initial launch, you should have your 2 people, your first 2 people enrolled in the business, okay? What else is there? Jim, listen, 2 people, remember the monthly, 2 people a day, that whole system of 60, 30, 10, 2. How are we doing on that? Are you keeping track of your 2 a day, okay? And again, I would say out of those 2 a day, you can also keep track how many of those people are interested. So at the end of that monthly sheet, when it's all done, you, even if it overlaps to the next month till it's all done, you should have 60 names. You should have a checkbox under 30 people were interested. The other 30 said, get out of my face. 10 people saw the plan or more, and I enrolled 2 or more people. That makes sense, guys? How can we start to judge what's going on in your business if we don't keep track of the numbers, okay? Now, the last couple of things, this is the let me just cover this. I'll cover the lifestyle. This is just saying, look, guys, in my other company, we had a little game plan that we don't want you just to do 70 points. Imagine the volume when you build that grid. If everyone is doing $300 of points a month, that can be between you, your family's use, and your little retail pot of customers. So if you have 3 customers and they're buying $50, there's $150 of production, right? So if everybody, every brand partner between themselves, personal use, and their customers. The heck with 70 points. We're doing $300 at 300 points. Imagine how that's going to create a massive flow of checks in your organization. The last thing is pretty simple. Remember the 2x2 in a lifestyle? Did you hit that? Yeah, once you hit that, did you hit the 3x3, the 4x4, and the 5x5? That completes your getting started checklist. Now, the only thing I did, and I think you can track this in your back office, but when I did this sheet, I thought it might be fun to say, look, I gave you enough space for 7 personals. 1, 2, if I finish this off, you'll see, I think there's 7 names. So these are 7 people you personally sponsored. It might change if someone's doing more than the other, but for each one, you're simply saying, what are we trying to get them through? They're 5 people that are on 70 points. So these are 70-point people. When you get your first one in, you put them there. He brings his first 70-point person in, which should be just about everybody that they bring in. Boom, boom, boom. This is just a little fun tracking. I'm sure you can see this in your back office. I think I said when I did this sheet, I wasn't sure, but I might even be able to eliminate this because I think you can see everything right in your back office. So this is it, guys. Let's go back through this backwards, and we're done with the training. I went through everything. This is the checklist that covers everything. Remember, the best thing to do, I thought, which I didn't take time to do it on the computer, but I'm going to put just vertical lines running down. So for each page, if I've got 10 people I'm working with on one leg and 10 people on another leg, I can have 2 sheets. And I can look at all my people. There's Michelle, Tony, Sam, boom, and they're all I'm going to be checking off the boxes as I meet with them and do what we call corings. We're actually, having meetings, not like trainings, but then little get-togethers where we talk. So what else do we cover today in this? We went over duplication. We went over the methodology of how you present, how you expose, how you pique interest. We told you about the system, 2 people a day, right? That's the ball. That's the goal, guys. That's the consistent action. And then, of course, the first thing we talked about when we talked about building a business was the initial things you do. Make a list. Book your 2 venues that you're going to take responsibility, and your goal is to get your first 10 people in front of the compensation plan, okay? And of course, prior to that, we talked about what it takes, your little why, but basically your initial education, and then the process you went through when you enrolled, the enroller steps you're going to take with your new people, and then, of course, you should have done these things yourself. Do you understand, guys? I covered everything. Not a long training, not super convoluted, but basically 1 page, 2 pages of information, 3 pages of information, 4 pages, not even 3.5 pages of information, and then I put everything on a checklist. All right, guys, that should be enough to get you launched in this business and rolling. You're going to keep learning. You're going to learn more and go to the Facebook groups, but this is hopefully not overwhelming, but it gives everyone we're working with a track to run on. Now, all you have to do, they listen to my 2 training sessions. They got the guide in front of them. They got the checklist in front of them. All you got to do now is be a coach and keep moving them along what we just taught them. Okay? Duplication. That's how we blow up and build a massive organization. We streamline it. We got the presentation, we got the training. We got the presentation, we got the training. That's simple, guys. Now go open your mouth to people, save some lives, guys. Remember, it's all in your head. If you think you're bothering people, I'm going to bother 2 people today, shame on you. You're not bothering anyone. You're giving them an opportunity for something that most people don't have. Most people don't have a way to make extra money. Most people don't have residual income. You're giving them that opportunity, whether or not they want it or maybe it's not like they're dumb and they don't get it. They might be just timing is everything with people, but you're exposing it to them and then you're letting them decide. And you don't hold it against them. I'm not talking to you if you don't do this business, or you're an idiot. No, that's stupid, man. My best friends not in the business with me, right? They might be in this business. They weren't my last business, but I just still love on them, okay? Love you guys. Take care.